Hey, what's up guys? So today we're going to be talking about the Amazing Spider-Man number 16, Dark Web. So I will be talking about the story, so there will be spoilers. If you haven't read the story and you want to know what happens before you hear me talk about it, then probably do so. Otherwise, without further ado, let's begin. And the story begins with Ben Reilly's interpretation of previous events, and they're incredibly warped. They make Spider-Man seem like the most backstabbing, betrayal-looking dude you have ever come across. But then we move on to the start of the story, which is basically a continuation of where we left off the previous issue, where Spider-Man and Chasm are duking it out. Spider-Man claims how he doesn't remember those events happening the way Ben Reilly remembers them. Chasm starts claiming how he absolutely remembers it that way. And Spider-Man goes, "You just said your memories were destroyed." And Chasm responds with, "Did I? That part's foggy." And so this part's kind of funny to me because this is where basically they go, you know what, forget that plot nonsense. Let's just fight. So Spider-Man goes, "I don't care about all that nonsense. If you're threatening my city, then we have a problem." And Chasm responds with, "Then Peter, I believe we do have a problem." The start of their fight is kind of funny because there's this sentient scooter that just has eyeballs, right? And he's just minding his own business. He's just this random denizen from hell. I guess he's enjoying his outing on Earth, being a scooter. And so he gets caught up in the fight. For some reason they emphasize this scooter dude during the fight. But he gets caught up in the fight and he starts cussing out a storm. He's claiming how this is a complete nightmare for him. And after getting knocked over, he's like, "One of you pieces of better tip me back up." And of course, they just ignore him. But after Chasm gets tossed, he loses track of Spider-Man. So this is a perfect moment for Spider-Man to sneak up on him, right? Of course. But one of Chasm's new abilities, which as far as I know is established in this comic, is that he has this Spidey sense, of course like regular Spider-Man, but his Spidey sense gets physical. It reacts in a way where it attacks your attacker instead of warns you to get out of the way. And I thought that was a pretty interesting power. And then they establish how he's able to use his webbing to make weapons, like melee weapons. And I thought that was pretty cool. And then we move over to Madeline Pryor, who's just hanging out with Hallows Eve and Venom. And they set up this scenario where it looks like it's just to try to sell you Venom number 14, because that's what it's labeled on the bottom right of the page. They're like, follow Venom if you want to know what happens. But anyways, looks like they set off Venom to go attack the X-Men treehouse. Whatever that is. I don't follow X-Men. But they're about to get attacked. I know as far as Madeline Pryor just is associated with X-Men. She is like a clone of Jean. But anyways, yeah, they set up this attack on the X-Men. And of course, I follow Venom, so I'm gonna follow that storyline. I'm sure that writer's gonna make things a bit more interesting in this scenario. But anyways, back to the Spider-Man Chasm fight. The fight itself is pretty cool, not gonna lie. The artist portrays Chasm in a very badass, assholey sort of way. And I think for what they're going for, that perfectly fits fine. I really like Chasm's design. But during the fight, Chasm brings out this little golden orb. And he explains to Spider-Man how Spider-Man is his white whale and he's out fishing, and immediately tosses the golden orb at Spider-Man. Once this orb does land in front of him, it creates like this little projection over what's happening in Limbo. And it portrays his kidnapped homies, J. Jonah Jameson and Robbie Robertson. So this sort of leads you to believe that while Spider-Man was out fighting Venom in the previous issue, Chasm was kidnapping basically anyone that Peter Parker knows, just to use as hostages. And of course, he lands on J. Jonah Jameson and Robbie Robertson. Chasm starts giving Spider-Man some urgency, which, funny, I was just talking about that on the previous issue. But he gives Spider-Man some urgency. He's like, yeah, they're in Limbo. I honestly don't know how long they're gonna last. So if you want to save them, you gotta go to Limbo. Chasm sets up this scenario where Peter Parker wants to go save, his homies in Limbo. And so he sets up this spell where he has to trick Spider-Man into willingly wanting to go to Limbo. This hole starts opening on the ground and some tentacles spew out and grab Peter Parker. and they drag him off to Limbo. This also, I do question this a little bit. I'm like, so if Spider-Man was willing to go to Limbo to save his homies, why do we need this Cthulhu monster to drag him forcibly down? Maybe that's in the next issue. Maybe that's explained in that. Maybe it's like an auto trap to start messing with his mind or something. Once Chasm does capture Spider-Man, Chasm just takes a moment to just enjoy the moment. He claims how he's having a fantastic day, just going about causing havoc. Once Peter Parker opens his eyes, he notices that he's dressed up just how he used to, with his like sweater vest and his tie. And he's got like a camera in front of him, and he hears someone yelling for him in the distance, only to reveal this scenario where he's just in like limbo hell, but he's at work. So all of his co-workers are like these demonic beings, and the demon yelling at him is like, "This is your new life, so get to work." And I'm just like, damn, bro, that does seem like hell. But anyways, yeah, that's how that story ends. Spider-Man is somewhere in limbo, I'm assuming. I mean, he's in this crazy scenario, but that's where it seems like he's at. But yeah, that was this issue of The Amazing Spider-Man. Aside from the cringy beginning, like, I don't know what's up with these beginnings for these issues, but aside from that cringy beginning, I do enjoy this issue. I do find it kind of strange how they ended up emphasizing the scooter, though, during the fight. Like, of course they didn't acknowledge him, besides that they used the scooter to beat the hell out of each other. They gave the scooter like a bad day and they didn't even acknowledge it. But anyways, it's weird overall how that was an inclusion in this comic. The fight itself, when we were getting like Chasm's crazy new powers, I thought his powers were definitely pretty cool. I really would like to see his crazy weird new spider sense power explored a little bit more. And the art was very well done. I really do like that. There were moments where they make Chasm just seem really cool, and that's sort of what I was looking for with this issue, or just any issue with Chasm, just that they make his suit look cool, because it has a lot of potential to just overall be cool. They just gotta write it cool, you know? Give it a reason to just like it. The heck? And overall, they do have me on that. Overall, I do enjoy the book, but there's like really cool concepts, but it just kind of feels a little bit underwritten, to be honest. Still though, I personally enjoyed the book. I like learning about Chasm, mostly. Spider-Man's life really, at this point in the run, honestly it doesn't feel as interesting to me because they sort of just pushed it off to the side. But as long as they do continue exploring more of Chasm and what he's about, and what his powers can do and their limitations and whatnot, then it has potential for sure. That's mainly why I like this comic. But anyways, I appreciate you guys for listening to me talk about The Amazing Spider-Man number 16, Dark Web. If you guys enjoyed it and you want to hear me talk about more Amazing Spider-Man, then do just hit the like button and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.